Hello again, and it's time for another project. Today we're going to use the scroll saw to cut out this image of this cowgirl and basically stick it all down to a 12mm backer plywood, which we've already got there, and we'll actually cut out each one of these white sections, paint the backer black so it's very similar to the image, and stick those down once we've painted them nice yellow colour, I think, white hat, pink band, red lips. Let's go really crazy on this one. Normally would use painter's tape, just good old blue painter's tape, and I would line the full piece underneath, spray on some glue there like so, and just stick that template straight down. But because we are doing a back section, plus all these are going to be cut out, I'm just using a bit of scrap wood on this one here for the top section. I've used carbon paper underneath, stuck that down, and just go around with a pen around the outer section for the back of the section, and that's that piece all nicely done. So there will be our backer. You can see from that we will cut that out eventually, paint that black, and all the other bits are just going to be stuck to it. Now the other sections, like I just said, I've used scraps of 3.6mm. We know it is because the nice label there says it. So same idea, basically your carbon paper on top, nice fresh carbon paper. This one be no good, it's too dry. Place on your image, draw around it, and move on to the next section, and so on and so on. That way we can use that template to put all our bits on once they're done and see how they fit inside. So we've got the out there to cut out, remember, 3.6mm, so that will fit into there eventually on the backer board. We've done the little headband. Originally I was going to cut these out as separate circles, stick them onto the headband, stick the headband onto the hat, and then the hat onto the backer, but that would be 4 layers and they're just getting a little bit too chunky. So on this one we're literally going to cut out the circles and allow the paint to come through to give you the image there. So once that's cut out, that will obviously sit on there like so, and there's all the rest of our pieces, just to say got them all in nicely. So we'll cut these out one at a time, and hopefully they'll all stick on there, and the lips themselves, we'll paint them a nice cherry red hopefully, and we can stick them in there wherever they are, and that should all go on there afterwards, and hopefully they'll all fit together and we'll be good to go. Now the blades on this one, as always for me, I like to use spiral blades, simply because they do the teeth spiral in all directions, full circle, full length of these blades, so you can cut in any direction. You could start with this, come in there, and if you just cut that out without turning that wood at all. With your normal blades, you're pinned and pinless. There's a pin blade for you. These come on your more basic saws, and they want to be smooth on the way down, rough on the way up. And then you get pinless blades, obviously. They come on your more expensive ones. If you are thinking of buying a scroll saw, certainly go and get one that takes pinless blades. It just saves you a lot of trouble. With my little dropper over in the corner there, it only takes pin blades, so I have to use these adapter clamps on my spiral blades, or pinless blades, the same. And they're just a little bit awkward when you're swapping and changing if you're doing a big project. Something like this is no problem, because we have no inner cuts apart from changing the blade every time to drill into those with a pilot holes to fill all those in. And once it's all cut out, we'll be good to go. So Pegas number 5 spiral blade for me. We'll pop this in the scroll saw, start cutting this out. Before that I will just drill little pilot holes into there, just so we can get those blades in, and then we'll do the backer piece, get a little bit of sanding down, and then get some nice paint, glue it all together, and hopefully we'll be heading towards the finishing line. But for now, let's set this up in the scroll saw and start cutting this one out. Right, so we've got our Pegas number 5 spiral blade set up in the saw. You can just see those adapter clamps here, and got a nice ping sound. We've took the tension up at the back. Now we're ready to cut this one out. I'm going to cut out the backer section first. Remember, that's on 12mm plywood. Give that a little sanding down, and then as we cut each separate piece out, we can just put it into place. And if it looks okay, we'll leave it. If not, we'll do a little bit of sanding down or something. So let's just start slowly, and then we'll speed things up with this one, and then see how we go on with the smaller pieces, the 3.6mm, they will certainly cut a lot quicker. Right, there's our first section cut out. The backer, 12mm plywood, that one, that cuts out really easy. You do find with the spirals, you'll get the little nodules on the back, and that takes a matter of seconds with a sandpaper, and that's it. They're all nicely cleared off. I'll go all the way around to the back piece. On this one, I just want to round it off slightly. Obviously with your plywoods, because there are different layers, there's 7 on here. As you're sanding away, you'll take off the first level, the veneer, or the first level, I don't know what. That doesn't matter to us. We're going to paint it all black in the end, so we can go around and just see those little pencil lines there. Remove those and give it a general tidy up. Before that though, we've got to cut out the other sections. Exactly the same process. We've got all those bits to cut out there, not forgetting the hat. And then we will drill our little pilot holes and cut out those circles for that band to go around the hat. Okay, let's cut the rest of this out. Give it all a nice sanding down, and then we'll look into the painting side of things. Right, that's all cut out. We cut it all out with that Pegas number 5 spiral blade. And then we use the sandpaper just around the edges off and stuff. And as I've gone along, I've literally put it on top of the template, so I know it's somewhere near where we want it. Remember I mentioned before about the plywood, just be careful where you're sanding. You can just see there at the end, There we go, that different colour, that is just your layers coming through. This is a 3.6. I think there's 4 on there, maybe. One large one on one either side. 3 layers on there. So you'll get that white coming through. So just remember that, if that's going to be your finished item. For us, we're lucky enough that we're going to be painting all this today, so we've got no problems with this. I'm just trying to visualise how that fits in there. That's not that piece. Upside down. Didn't make it look right. So as I've gone along, like I say, I've covered this up, and eventually once we've painted it all, we will glue it into place like so. The only other thing I did change here, I don't remember, with the headband itself for the actual hat. Originally we were going to cut out the circles and let the colour of the hat come through. I did think it was a bit too much, maybe having 4 layers. Remember, we've got the backer, then the hat, then the band itself, and then the studs on top. So in the end I've actually cut these out. They're interesting too on the spiral blade. So we're going to stick those on there and give it a full on 3-dimensional look like so. And we'll get a nice colour. Very girly this one for the Cowgirl. So it's going to have lovely red pouting lips here, as you can see. And we might have a white, even a pink band. Nice blonde hair, and that'll be it. Now this bit here, now I'm not too sure if that's part of a front, neckline, whatever you want to call it. Near the time, I think I might just turn that into a scarf. A little neck scarf. So we might have a different colour on there against the pink of the skin and the nice red lips. Or it could be an open shirt, and that would basically be the same colours. I'm going to leave that till I come to the actual fine painting side of things. So there's all our scroll saw work done. So all that's left now is to paint it all up nicely, glue it all down, spray a bit of gloss on it, and this little project will be finished. Let's go and get some paint, and we can start painting this one up. Right, we're going to go for Painter's Touch paints today. These are great paints, indoors and outdoors. This will be an indoor project, obviously it being plywood. I'll be tempted not to put it outside. So we're going to have a nice black. That will totally do all the background piece. Once we've removed all that. You'll have a nice white there, obviously, for the hat. Now silver, that could change. That's hopefully going to be for the studs there around the hat. Pink for the headband. Yellow for the ear. And good old cherry red, bright red lips here. And like I say about this one, could end up with a blue scarf yet. We'll see how we get on with that. Right, we're going to find a decent brush. We'll go indoors, put the kettle on, make a nice cup of tea, and we can just start painting this one up now. Right, so far so good. Now I've actually stuck all this down. There wasn't a lot to show you. I actually used a combination of 2 glues that I found, a wood glue and a super glue there. No need for 2, I'm sure. And it's just a simple case of, I just dab all the way around like that. And on the bigger projects like the hat and the scarf, I'll put this in the middle sections just to use it up basically. Turn it over, press it down, and it's set in seconds. And then we stuck all these on separately. So we've managed it. So that's all nicely done now. Everything is nicely secure. Now personally, you could leave that like that. That's no problem whatsoever. When we did the black, we did the back. I will put a hanger on for the final project's finished, should I say. But for me now, I just like to spray a bit of clear lacquer on. Varnish spray. Personally, I'd normally do this beforehand. I would spray the black first and spray all these sections while they're stuck down to the tape. When I paint these small areas, I put painter's tape on a block, stick these onto the tape, and then you can paint them all basically just by holding it in your hand, and it's not too fiddly. I would normally spray that all first. So unless you're going to spray some 151 today, it could be yacht varnish or whatever's kicking about. I'll go outside, it's a nice sunny day, just a little thin layer, just get a bit of extra shine on those lips, and that black hopefully will stand out a lot better. And then once we go outdoors, we'll spray some of the side bits as well. Okay, I'll finish spraying this, then I'll put a hook on the back, and then this little project will be finished. Right, that's it. This little project is finished. Now we give it a couple of sprays of that 151 lacquer there, and you might just see just enough to give it that shine. And for me, that means the project is finished. Put nice little hanging up on there. We've tried it indoors, it hangs perfectly straight, so everything's worked out nicely, and that's near enough for a nice little project for today. So it was cut out on 3.6mm hardwood plywood using a Pegas number 5 spiral blade. Unfortunately, I have to use the adapter clamps with mine. There's no pins on these blades here, they are pinless blade. And then we attached it to the 12mm backer. Before that, we painted it with nice little painter's touch paints. I tend to put a bit of water in my first layer, let that dry, go on to the next colour, and by the time you come back to the second coat, it's all dry and you're good to go. And for sticking it all down with just any super glue, Loctite today I believe. And then for that final spray, a bit of 151 clear lacquer. And that's it, we are done. And it also measures in at 14 inches by 12 inches across. Nice little cowgirl there. Thank you very much for watching.